Hello, welcome everyone to the SMAX user group. Today we are going to have a spotlight on extending SMAX capabilities with Studio apps. We have two guest speakers who will walk through the work that they've done to create apps and that have been posted out on our marketplace. So I really appreciate both of them for building the app, posting it on the marketplace, and coming to the user group to share it with you. I'm going to take everyone off of mute. If you would like to ask questions, feel free to unmute and ask questions. So you should be unmuted or have the ability to unmute yourself now. All right. If you need the tiny URLs to this meeting that you're already in, you can grab a screen capture of this. Just a reminder, if you are not able to connect with computer audio and you need the telephone numbers, you can call in if you want to be able to interact with us verbally and not just use the question manager. That is an option. If for some reason it doesn't work through your computer. All right, so we're going to talk about superior service level, high level design, and then the ToDo Queue. And with that, I will hand it off to Praveen. You can introduce yourself, Steve, and then let me know when to advance the slides. And I'll hand it to you when you want to do your demo.
Sure, Steve. Yes, sure, Steve. Thanks a lot for this opportunity. Hi, everyone. This is Praveen here from Microfocus PS. So today I'm going to talk about the superior service level app which I have designed. So I'm going to talk through it and give a small demo of it, how the app actually works and what you need to do to make this app working. Okay, so Steve, can you go to the next slide? Okay, so this is the high-level design of this app. So as you all know that currently we can calculate the SLA, or the SLA can be set using the service field. So what we thought is we thought to build an extension of this out-of-the-box capability by adding any other out-of-the-box field or a custom field. So currently in this design, I have shown some few fields, out-of-the-box fields like company, category, location, and you can also see there is a checkpoint for a custom. So you can add any custom field as well, based on which the service level could be calculated. So currently at this level, what we have done is we have taken only the out-of-the-box entity for which the service level could be calculated. So as you all know, it's like the support request, incident, service, and HR for which, and also the chat for which we can calculate the SLA. So we are in this app, we are using for only these entities as of now, and using the out-of-the-box service level. Yes, Steve, you can go to the next slide, please. And also everyone, if you have any questions, please stop me. You can come to unmute and ask me any questions, or you can ask in the question manager. I'll be happy to answer you guys. So in this slide, I'm talking about how you need to enable the the superior service level app. So first thing you need to do is you need to import this package from the marketplace, and there are instructions how to load this package to SMAX or your environment. So you can do that. And the second point is as I told, currently we are using the out-of-the-box service level. So you need to configure your service SLAs and SLTs as per your requirement. So once you do that, we have two entities which comes with this package. So one is called as SLA configurations. So in this SLA configurations, what you can do is you can choose the module that is your incident, or a support request, service request, or HR request. Okay. So and you can also choose what fields, based on what fields you want to calculate the SLA. So currently in this app, what we have done is we have given you 4 out-of-the-box fields, and along with that 2 custom fields. So based on your requirement or your environment, if you want to have additional fields or something, then you need to just modify the app or the fields what you want to add. So you can do that in that SLA configuration, or if you are happy with the out-of-the-box fields or the custom fields what we have given, you can just start it using them. So once you select this SLA configuration and choose a model, right? You can go to the next entity called as superior service level, and here what you can do is like based on the field selected, you can assign the values to that. Say for example, you can select a category value or a company value, location value, or a combination of these values. You can also include any fields you want, and based on that you can tell to SMAX that if this is my combination, what should be my SLP value or an SLA value, what should it be? So based on this, what will happen is like SMAX will know that, okay, so if this combination of fields or a single field comes in, so this should be the SLT. So now you need to go back to your regular modules, that is like for example a request or incident, and you need to do the modification, that is like add couple of fields, and you need to just do a lookup to this superior service level app. Okay, so once this is done, so how functionality works basically is like that we are just using a simple concatenation method to make sure that the SLA is selected based on the inputs what you provided. So we are doing this concatenation at the superior service level, entity level as well, and also we need to do this in your request or incident level as well. So once you do that, what happens is once you select these values in your incident or request, it will just do a lookup and do the concatenation matching. So once that concatenation level matching is done, it automatically fix the SLA or the SLT which you have added in the superior service level app. And also you can use this app for any version. It's not like version like any version dependency or something is there. It's like a version independent. So you can use this for any of your SMAX version to do the calculations. Steve, can you go to the next slide, please? Okay, so here what I've done is I've just taken an example, like one real use case example where I have implemented it to a customer. Okay, so in that customer environment, so they were using SMAX for their customers. Okay, so what they were having is they were having like many companies, and each companies were having many locations, but the services they were offering were same for everyone. So, but they had priorities like a platinum customer, gold customer, silver, like that. So for the platinum customer, the SLA should be different, or like it's on very high priority, like for the for that particular service. But when you take the same service for another customer in silver level, it would be different. So what my app does is like it takes the combination of a company field for that company, a particular location and that service. So for example, if I say I take a company A, location 1 and service 1, the SLA for a resolution may be 1 hour because he is a platinum customer. So similarly, if I take a customer of company B, location 1 and service 1, okay, so since he's a silver, the SLA may be like 8 hours. So based on my app, so we can do this calculation. So you can set up like the combination of this and set the SLA SLTs accordingly. Steve, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so this is basically how the entities looks into. So as I told you, the first entity is called as SLA configuration entity. So here the entity type you can choose from any 4 of these, any one. So once you select this, and you need to enable the checkboxes. So which checkboxes you need to use to calculate this SLA. Say for example, for incident, I want to calculate the SLA based out of my company service location combination. You need to check 3 box. Or if you feel that I just want to calculate the SLA based out of location, so you can just tick mark the location value and you can calculate this. So this is how a SLA configuration table or the configuration looks like. Yes, Steve, you can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so this is the superior service level app. So as you can see in my previous tab, I had selected company, service, and location. So you can see here that I have selected a company called Microfocus, location as Asia, India, and service as network access support. So when this combination comes in the incident ticket, automatically the SLA will be set to this test scenario for SLA app. So this is how it works. So basically, you can create similar kind of things for other combinations of company services locations, and make sure that the SLA is appropriate SLA is selected for that, or the SLT is selected for that, so that for that combination, the exact SLA will be attached. Steve, can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah, so you can take an example here. So what I have done is like, so I have added a company called Microfocus, location as Asia, India, and service as network access support. So there are few fields like incident to the company, location, SLA, SLA concatenation, and SLA details, which are not available out of the box. So for testing or for you to add the values, so you need to add the appropriate fields. Since I had selected incident to company, location, and service in my SLA configuration, I have added those fields, incident to company and location. Likewise, if you have selected some other field or a custom field, so make sure that those fields are added into your appropriate forms, whether it may be a new incident form or your full incident form. And also the last three fields, SLA, SLA concatenation, and SLA details, are just for your understanding to make sure that whether the correct SLA has been attached. So once it goes to the production environment, you can always remove these three fields because you don't want the client or the customer to know like why these three fields are prepared. It's just only for the backend for you to understand like which fields is which SLA is getting attached for this combination. And also you can see in the target, the same SLA has been done, testing for a superior applications. So any questions till now, Steve? Any questions, Avaya?
Yes, we have two questions that have come in. So the first one is, can the SLA app be made applicable to new studio built apps? So could you've shown this connecting to incident. If I create my own app, can I use this with that new entity?
Yeah, so currently, no, currently we have kept it only to the out of the box kind of things. So we thought like we'll explore it later. But for this version, it's only to the out of the box fields what we have in our normal SLTs.
All right. And then the second question is, how does this superior service level app work with the out of the box service level management module?
Yeah, so as I told before, we are using the out of the level service level table itself. So everything is configured at the service level table. But the only thing what we are doing an enhancement over here is like in the out of the box, you can only base the SLA out of a service. So what we are doing here is like we are like enabling it for other out of the box fields and the custom fields. So currently, if you don't want to calculate your SLA based out of the service, using our app, you can calculate based out of any other out of the box field or a custom field. Say, for example, based out of a location, or if you want to calculate based out of a category or something like in your environment, you have a custom field, say XYZ, and you want to calculate the XLA out of these custom fields. So you can use our app to calculate this.
So it's an alternate SLA selection mechanism that then once the SLA is selected, the out of box SLM capabilities kick in, and this app helps you with doing more complex selection criteria. All right. Should I make you presenter?
Yeah, sure.
That was your last slide, right?
Sure. Yep. Yeah.
Let me make you a presenter. And you can go ahead and show your screen.
Yeah. So let me know once you see my screen.
Yep, I do.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, okay, sure. So this is my app, Superior Service Level, which consists of SLA configuration and Superior Service Level entity types. So here what I am doing is, as I told before, so initially we need to just click on new and select the entities which are available out of the box. So that whether maybe incident, service request, support request, or a HR request. So which you want to calculate the SLA on. So once you enable this field, right? So I already have an incident. I can just go and show you there. So as you can see that I have selected the incident, and once I selected, I wanted to calculate the SLAs for the incident based out of my company service and location. So I've checked this box. So similarly, just for an example, we have given a custom field here. So based on your customer requirement or your environment, you can always change the label of these fields and use these fields to calculate your SLA. So once I enable these things here, so I'll just go to my superior service level entity. So here I'll just show you two things for the same incident. So once I create any SLA configuration, automatically that will come here. So if I go back and create for a support request, and if I come here and see the dropdown, you get the support request. So based on the entities in the or the records in the SLA configuration, your entity type will be selected. So here what I've done basically is, as you know, in the previous I have selected the company, service, and a location. So what I'm telling is, for this combination of the company, that is Micro Focus, Asia, India, and network access support, this is my service level target. So as I told you, this we are using the out of the box service level itself is just the mechanism to calculate based of different fields. So if I go here, I'm using everything what is there available out of the box. So if I go here, I've created this SLT here and attached it here. So I'm calculating based on this SLT itself. So I'm just selecting that SLT, saying that what for this combination, what should be the SLT. So if I go to the next record here, so I have a different combination. So you can see that for SAP, and location is Europe, United Kingdom, and a service, what should be my service level target. So you can see that it's like selected as a default SLT for an incident. So now, so in the document, if you go in the app, there is a document. When you download it, there is a document what all fields you need to add for the incident level or request level for this app to work. So I request you to add those fields. So once you add those fields, and if you come to for a new ticket or something, I'll just create quickly one ticket. So as you know that here I am selecting as a network access support, because this is the field what I have selected here. Sorry, here in my first one. So if I go, the combination is network access support, Micro Focus, and Asia India. I'll be just using those values which I have selected there. So I'll be selecting Micro Focus and the location as Asia India. Okay. So with this information, what I will do is, so I'll just create a ticket. Okay. So once you create a ticket, you can see that automatically based on the concatenation. So here this concatenation value. So this concatenation is nothing but I'm just concatenating the company, service, and the location. So similar details also will be available here. Sorry, I have not added in that field. So if you see here, so you can see that this similar value is here. So what it does is it does a lookup from here to this table. So once this both the lookup gets matched, it automatically assigns this service level to the ticket. So this is how the app actually works. So you can come here and see it has been added here automatically. So if you think that, for example, if you want to change this back to some other in the midway, you think that you're wrong and you want some other combination, you can do that. So what I will do is I will add the second thing, the United Kingdom and the SAP. So you can see that once this is done, you can see that the SLA details automatically gets changed here. And you can also see that the SLA is taking as the default SLA. So that is based on the second one. So here, if you see that this combination has been selected now, and if you come here, it's the same combination. So it allows you to change the SLA as well in between as well for a ticket as well. So I need to do a refresh, so you can see that it has come. So it will just take a 30 seconds for this to get refreshed. But as you can see here, the SLA has got attached. So see, this is what I wanted to show to the team. Any further questions?
There was one more question, or actually two more questions that came in. I'll take the first one. So yeah. Will the superior service level app apply to change, release, and problem management modules? And this would apply to those modules once we extend service level management to them. So I don't think Praveen would need to make any changes in his app. We need to do the R&D work to add SLM to those modules. That can't be done through configuration today. And then the next question, or really a request, was, can you give an example for multi-level SLA dependency? I think you showed using multiple parameters to select the SLA. So you had location and service as two.
Yeah.
If the person asking that question if that doesn't cover it, you might need to post a clarification on that one. But I think Praveen showed that from what I saw.
Yeah.
And then would anyone like to come off mute and ask a question? All right. Thank you very much, Praveen. I will take the presenter back. Nick, you're going to be up in a minute, or less than a minute.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. Sorry, a little bit. Okay, so next up is the ToDo Queue for SMAX. And Nick, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself and your app, and then I'll make you presenter so you can demo.
Sure. Hello, everyone. This is Nick from Whitlock, and this is the ToDo Queue. If any of you have worked in Service Manager before, you will recognize this as a necessity. We started working for clients, and that was one of the first things that that was requested, right? Well, where's all my tickets, you know? And as many of you know, that we don't always wear one hat, right? We don't always work in change. We don't always work in incident. So it's nice to have a place where you can go to find all the tickets that are assigned to you or to a group, your groups, to be able to work them quickly and find where you need to be taking action and prioritize that list. So the application is fairly simplistic as far as its design, but it does solve a very simple need from customers that they need all their work in one place. And I really don't have a lot to say. It's more show and tell, or show, than it is tell. So I will go ahead and.
All right, I made you presenter.
Is it going to ask me which screen?
I'm seeing a PDF.
Yeah, that would not be it. All right, fine.
If you just click share, then it picks the default. You have to do the drop down to select which one you want. But now
very well.
I'm seeing.
Okay, so as a user, if you are in, let's say, the incident module, and you have your incidents that are assigned to you, and you need to see the changes assigned to you, or requests or problems, right? You have to click the mega menu, switch over, and select your view if it's not selected, and sort again, and all that good stuff, right? You have to get everything the way you like it, again and again and again for all the modules. You can say, well, you can do that on the dashboard. You kind of can, right? So you can, but the dashboard is mainly for overview, right? It's not really for conglomeration of task queues per se. And in the end, it's all separate, right? You have to click down or scroll down through here to see all the different areas and stuff like that. The ToDo Queue, I'll show you real quick. It's just like any other list, right? But in here, what we've done is you can see the modules: incident, change, task, request. So all of these are basically copies of the ticket that got opened in the respective modules, but it has a replicated record in the ToDo Queue. It's not the actual ticket. It is the replicated ticket. The data has just been copied over to another record. But it is a grouping of all the tickets. And to be able to get to the ticket, you have a ticket link right over here in your preview pane that you can click and go real quick over to the queue. So if this is an incident, I can go ahead and click here, and it'll take me right over to the incident. right? So it's pretty quick to get to where you need to go. This list is sorted. You can sort this list and create views just like you can in the modules, right? So you can create assigned to me, assigned to my groups. You can prioritize by priority status, all those kinds of things. All those fields are brought over, and that's configurable, right? If you need more fields from those records, you can create those fields in the ToDo Queue and have them copied over. So I'm going to go into one of these records. This is the copy, right? It's still in the ToDo Queue, not in the actual incident. And you can adjust this form as you need, of course, through the studio. And the workflow is really simple. So what happens is the queue stays, or the ticket in the queue stays active as long as the ticket is open. I don't have code in there currently to close the ToDo Queue records. That might be in phase 2. It's also going to be responsibility for the customer downloading the ToDo Queue to close, to put in the simple code change to close the ToDo Queue record so that it drops out of the queue when the record's closed. I will show you real quick. It's fairly simplistic. You're going to download the ToDo Queue. You're going to import the package as you do any other app. And then you have to go to each module, say request, and you have to add 2 rules. And I had them searched, but apparently I didn't save it. So you'll add 2 rules. One is if the link to the ToDo Queue is not existent, then it will create the ToDo record. If it is existing, then it will update the related ToDo Queue record. That's pretty much it. So fairly simple to install. This is extensible to custom applications. It's really easy. As a matter of fact, that PDF I just had open, I can show you real quick. So this is the installation guide for the ToDo Queue, and this in particular is for the change module. So you're going to add a field, and you're going to add the creation and map the fields in that rule. So if this were a custom table, you would do exactly the same thing. So you would add a new field to link to the ToDo Queue, and then you would add the mapping rule to map to the ToDo Queue. And that's it. So it solves the problem of having a place for everyone to go and see all their work in one place. That's really all I have, Steve.
Great. Thank you, Nick. There was one question that has come in to the question manager. So does this ToDo Queue app work on SMAX 2020-05 and 2020-08 versions? So.
It does. I noticed we were having some issues with versioning as far as downloading the app and installing it on a different version than it was downloaded from. Steve, do you have any information on that? Why that happens, or the different rules on?
It should be forward compatible. Jan,
okay.
Do you have any?
Yes, it should be forward compatible. I agree with Steve. If this is not working, I can test this again, no problem. But yes, it should work on 2020-05 and 2020-08.
Excellent. Excellent.
And any version going forward. That's the
correct.
The expectation we have for apps built in Studio and exported using Package Manager is that they will work in future versions, not if you load them into versions earlier than the one it was extracted from or exported from. If you're having an issue with that, open a support case. We'll figure out what's going on there. But all right, looks like another question has come in. What happens with the ToDo Queue record when the request is still open, but it has changed the assignee person/group?
Very good question. The rule set that I showed, when a request is updated, it will do the mapping again, right? So it will change the assignee. It updates all the fields. So it actually walks the ticket as it moves through its phases. So metaphase and phase. assign group, priority, SLA, title, description, all that stuff gets updated every time the main ticket gets updated.
Great. All right. Would anybody like to come off mute and ask a question? I see somebody has their hand up. You can go ahead and come off mute.
Hi, Steve. Paul Uber, University of Pretoria. Can you hear me?
Yes,
we can.
Firstly, thank you for this great functionality. It is something that was asked literally in the first day after we went live with SMAX, so thank you very much. My question is more of a technical one. Is there any way to not have the clickable ID link that actually links to the, let's call it the fake record? Because that's one of the issues, apart from hiding the ID field. You know, you can train people ad nauseumly, but they still click on, on that ID and attempt to work on that request instead of the actual one.
I agree. You can remove the ID. It's a very good question, and it's one that I had to deal with, and it's actually the reason that the ticket link exists, right? The basic functionality in SMAX is the ID in column in this list is the ID and link to the ToDo Queue record, right? So that's why I had to add the ticket link to actually get them to the record. If you add links in this list, they do not work. You can't, you can't click them. So unfortunately, rocking a hard spot on that one.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the limitations that we see with doing this as a studio app, and that's why it's still part of my backlog for R&D to build as a feature. So this is a studio app. Thank you, Whitlock, for building it and posting it on the marketplace. It's great, but there are limitations there, and I still have a consolidated inbox in my roadmap for the product to deliver itself. This can be used in the meantime. And then we could also think about this particular challenge as an input for maybe improvements to do in Studio. I'm not sure what other use case might want to do the same kind of thing, but it's possible. So the more we build and share what you can do in Studio, the more we highlight ways to improve what we can do in Studio as well.
Absolutely. And my last comment is just, as you said, using the dashboard gives you some of this functionality, but not at all, really. And some of the modules are a little bit cripple, like tasks, that is not clickable. So if you have a dashboard for tasks, it really, I mean, there's no point to have a dashboard for tasks because you can't do anything with it. So
you can't drill through into them.
Yeah,
and that was a big thing too, as well, is the fact that the tasks were separate from the modules, and it was tough to figure out, you know. So and it's just different, right? It's just changing from what they're normally used to, but.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, just thank you very much for this very, very useful app. I appreciate it. It makes my days a lot easier. Thank you. Cheers.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Glad you enjoyed it.
Carl, are you already using it?
Steve, yes, we actually used it literally from the day that we went live with SMAX, because during UAT, the users cried foul, especially about the tasks. And fortunately, I had a look on the marketplace and I saw it. So yeah, it's really a lifesaver. It's just to try and get people not to keep adding the ID field back into the columns. But yeah, that's a different battle.
All right, good to hear. Thank you. It looks like there's another question.
Oh, excellent.
When a ticket's assigning name has been changed, will the ToDo Queue view refresh automatically? No, the queues do not refresh automatically, so you need to periodically refresh or use another mechanism to refresh your queue. All right, anyone else like to come off mute and ask a question? I will go ahead and take presenter back. I just have a couple more slides here, but I'll continue to monitor for questions. If you want to come off mute and ask, feel free. So just a little note about calendar appointments. I think we've shown this slide in previous ones, but it's a bit of a challenge with the technology we're using for the meeting. So you can only get the calendar appointment for the first appointment. You need to create your own for any subsequent ones. And then my last note here is our next user group session will be on the 28th, and that will be the SMAX 2021-05 release readiness webinar. So look forward to having you attend that or watch the recording. And then we're still looking at what our topics will be after the release readiness in 2 weeks. And thank you. I can stay on for a couple more minutes if anybody has additional questions. But thank you very much to Praveen and Nick for their work on creating their studio apps, posting them on the marketplace, and sharing them in today's session. I really appreciate all of that.
Thanks.
Anytime.
Hi, Steve. I've a general question about custom modules.
Yes.
I made the experience that when I created a module on my own and made an error and tried to delete this module, it is not deleted completely, because when I try to create a new module with the same name, the old settings of the deleted module are still available. So it seems the module is still somewhere in the background, and if I created some custom fields inside the custom module, they will appear if I create a new module with the same name we used before. So how can I get rid of modules so that I can reuse the name of?
To reuse the name.
You cannot reuse the same name, the internal name, once in use, and it's not really deleted, right? It's still there.
Okay. So there's no chance to get really rid of a module. What happens if I use the export and import tenant feature? Will deleted modules be exported and imported to the new tenant?
I mean, a tenant copies everything, right? So you get all the information that was added to the studio, right? You cannot.
So even the deleted modules and so on and so on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you would have to do the dev to prod, the granular dev to prod, where you.
Then everything that's not included in dev to prod would not be in the new system.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. I see another question was added. Can we build a business rule to refresh the screen every 1 minute? No, we don't have a mechanism to force a refresh on the screen. That's not available today.
And can be can have a significant performance impact if someone leaves the screen there and just refreshes over and over.
Concerned if you're running a refresh every minute for every single one of your users, that there could be some negative implications of that. And that's why, like, where we do have the automatic refresh on when you're the chat queue, it's actually a push mechanism. There's special handling put in there so that it's not going to overload the system just by rerunning queries endlessly.
There is a Google Doc out there on how to auto refresh pages, if you choose to, tax the system like that.
Using like browser extension or
yeah.
Chrome extensions, you can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like if you have a single shared monitor in a room, and that's the only place that it's happening, then that would be perfectly fine. I get concerned if you're forcing it on every single user. I think that's where you're more likely to run into problems. But if it's used sparingly, then it can definitely be helpful.
It's exactly what I do in my help desk, screen, wall screens. But that is the only place I use it.
Yeah. All right. Other questions, comments, topics? I'll give it another 30 seconds, and if no one speaks up, then we'll go ahead and close the call. And I'll thank all of you for your attendance today, and especially to the presenters. All right, thank you and goodbye.